or we make it difficult for ourselves because we're trying to see what's going on in the picture. So what I want you guys to do is always redraw the larger picture or the larger shape. This is going to be H. And notice how this whole thing is 24. So now I'm just going to concentrate on this shape right here and the one that I redrew. And we can set up our proportion. We've got H corresponds, the height of the tree will correspond to the height of the person. And then the shadow of the tree corresponds to the shadow of the person. Does everybody see that? And from here, all we have to do is cross multiply and divide. I'm going to multiply 24 times 5 equals H times 8. So 24 times 5 is 120 equals to 8H. Divide by 8, and H is equal to 15, which means the height of my tree is 15 feet. And if we were in non-pandemic days, we would totally go outside and measure the height of that tree. I mean, that pole. I mean, you can do it for fun. Anybody? Some extra credit. All right, go ahead and draw this one. Those of you at home, do you guys see those two triangles? The bigger triangle and then the smaller triangle? And this is why it's important to redraw the larger triangle. All right, identify my little triangle that's inside. We know that they are similar because they share this angle and because they both have a 90-degree angle, which means that the third angle is, all right, so I'm gonna redraw the larger triangle. This is A, D, and E. We know that ED is 12. I'm gonna put 12 at ED. And then what is the length of AD? Who can tell me what the length of AD is? So if we look down here, AD is this whole thing right here. So what is the length of AD? 12. Perfect. So now all I'm going to do is concentrate on ED, and that one corresponds to CB. So ED corresponds to CB equals DA, which corresponds to BA. And then we write our ratios or substitute. We've got ED is 12 over X equals DA is 12 over 3. We cross multiply and divide. 3 times 12 equals 12 times X. So 36 divided by 12X, equals 12X divided by 12, X is equal to 3. Now, if you look at your proportion, in order for these two to be equal, your X has to be 3. Any questions? Awesome. Let's do one more. Let's look at this one. A lot's going on this one, right? It's even confusing to me, but what are we going to do? We know we have two triangles, so I'm going to redraw the larger triangle. We know this is 7. What do we know about this length? What is going to be the length of this side? What's the length of that side? Huh? 5. Perfect. And then what's the length of this side? Or what two number or terms are we going to add? Y and what? 2.4. It's like we're putting a plus sign there, right? So over here, we're going to have y plus 2.4. And now for the sake of my eyes not having to look at anything but what needs to be looked at, I'm just going to scratch this part off. Or if you prefer, you can just redraw your small one, where this is 2y and x. Actually, redrawing it looks better, no? All right, so now we're gonna do, if we're trying to solve for x, we know that x corresponds to 7. So let's do the first one over the, or let's do the second one over the first one. So x over 7 equals, and because we started on this side, I'm gonna say, well, we can't put two variables. We need to use the one that doesn't have a variable. So we're gonna put 2 over 5 and x over 7. And then we cross multiply. We've got 7 times 2 equals 5 times x. We get 14 equal to 5x divided by 5, and x is equal to 14 fifths. And now let's solve for y. We're going to start with this side over this side. So y over y plus 2.4 equals, and then we'll use the purple one, 2 over 5. We cross multiply, 5y equals 2 times y plus 2.4. We distribute, 2y plus 2 times 2.4 is 4.8. Subtract my 2y, because we want to put all the y's on one side. We get 3y equals 4.8, and then the last step is to divide by 3. So 4.8 divided by 3 is 1.6. Any questions? All right, so if you guys can go to Google Classroom, and if you go to assignment 2,